All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving into some seriously wild stuff today.
Yeah, buckle up.
This is some cutting-edge scamming we're talking about.
Uh-huh. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at how these scammers are going after Web3 folks, entrepreneurs, developers, that whole crowd.
Right, exactly those folks.
They're using, get this, fake video conferencing apps.
Oh, yeah, like Zoom, but not...
Yeah, exactly. And they're using AI to make these apps look super real.
Convincing, yeah.
And the whole thing, it's all laid out in this article called Pasted Text.
Mm-hmm. Some really solid research in there.
Definitely worth a read, but we're going to break it all down for you right now. So imagine this. You're, let's say, a Web3 entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're on Telegram, doing your thing.
Networking, building connections.
Exactly. And then, boom, you get a message. Sounds like a great opportunity. Maybe even some familiar names get dropped.
Ooh, name-dropping, classic.
Right, and they invite you to a virtual meeting, discuss the details.
Sounds pretty standard so far.
Totally. But here's the catch. They want to use this app you've never even heard of.
And that's where the alarm bells should start ringing.
Big time. But they're clever, these scammers. They give the app a name that almost sounds familiar, like QC?
QC.
QC. Meetin'.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
Yeah, playing with those familiar names, right. They even have websites for these fake apps, all polished and professional looking.
It's crazy how good they've gotten at making this stuff look legit.
And they even have versions for both Windows and macOS, like they're covering all their bases.
They're not messing around.
Not at all. And the macOS version, that's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, so?
They actually use a legitimate security feature of macOS to trick you into giving them your system password.
No way.
Yeah, it's called OSAS script.
Oh, OSAS script. Yeah, I know about that.
You want to explain how that works?
Sure. So OSAS script is basically a way for apps to, automate stuff on your Mac.
Okay, so it's like doing things in the background.
Oh. Exactly. A lot of legitimate apps use it, but these scammers, they figured out how to exploit it.
So they trick the system into thinking it's a normal app using OSA script.
Basically, yeah, when you install their fake app, it uses OSA script to trigger a password prompt, like when you need to update something or confirm a security setting.
Ah, I see. So it looks totally normal.
But instead of being used for, a legitimate reason, the scammers record your password and send it straight to them.
Wow, so they're turning the system's own security against you.
Exactly. It's a clever trick, and it's not just this scam either.
Really?
A lot of macOS stealers like Atomic, Cuckoo, Banshee, they all use OC script to bypass security and grab your data.
So once they have your system password, what can they do with that?
Oh, pretty much anything. It's like giving them the keys to your digital kingdom.
No kidding.
Crypto wallets, Telegram credentials, bank info, anything you've got stored in your iCloud keychain, even your browser cookies.
So they can see everything you're doing online.
Yeah, they can build a really detailed profile of you, your habits, your contacts, your financial situation.
That's terrifying.
It's prime material for identity theft and fraud.
Yikes. So what about the Windows version of the scam? Is it as sophisticated?
Oh, in its own way, yeah.
Like how?
Well, for starters, they managed to steal a digital signature from a real software company, Bryce Software Ltd.
Whoa, how do you even do that?
It's not easy, but these guys, they're resourceful, so they slap this stolen signature on their fake app, makes it look all official and trustworthy.
So it gets past any security warnings.
Yeah, it tricks a system into thinking it's a legitimate program, but once it's installed, bam, it downloads this other program, written in Rust, that's specifically designed to steal your data.
So it's like a two-stage attack.
Precisely, and it shows you how adaptable these scammers are. They're constantly finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities, no matter what operating system you're using.
It's like a never-ending arms race.
That's a good way to put it.
Speaking of arms races, remember that Banshee stealer group?
The ones who just vanish.
Yeah, after their source code leaked.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Nobody knows for sure what happened, right?
It's a total mystery. Some people think it was intentional, like they wanted to throw off law enforcement or mess with their competition.
Kind of a scorched earth tactic.
Yeah, or maybe it was a security breach. Someone from within the group leaked the code.
That's a possibility too.
It's a fascinating case. Gives you a little peek into the world of cybercrime, all the shifting alliances and power struggles.
It makes you wonder what they're up to now, out there in the shadows.
Who knows what they're cooking up next?
So we've talked about Clucy, QC, all those fake apps. Are there any other scams like this we should be aware of?
Oh, absolutely. There's a bunch of them popping up using names like Marco Polo, MeetHub.
MeetHub, seriously?
Yeah, they're all riffing on those familiar names, trying to slip under the radar.
It's like they know we're all craving connection, especially in the Web3 world.
That's exactly what they're exploiting, that desire to collaborate, to be part of something.
And it's not just these fake meeting apps, right?
Oh no, the whole steal malware scene is booming right now.
What else is out there?
We're seeing all these new families popping up: Fickle, Wish, Hexen, Celestial, each one with its own little twist.
And what about the old classics like Redline and Poseidon?
They're still around, constantly being updated, tweaked, made more effective.
So they're like the veterans of the game.
You could say that, and they're not picky about their targets either.
What do you mean?
They go after anyone they can. Gamers downloading pirated software, people messing around with AI tools, anyone who lets their guard down.
It's a jungle out there.
That's one way to put it.
So for our listeners out there, what can they do to protect themselves from all this?
The first thing is awareness. Knowing about these scams is half the battle.
Right. Forewarned is forearmed.
Exactly. So pay attention to the red flags, unsolicited meeting invites, weird app names, anything that feels even slightly off.
Especially if they ask for your system password.
Yeah. Huge red flag. Never give that out unless you're absolutely sure it's a legitimate request.
So basically, be cautious, double-check everything, and trust your gut.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And here's something to think about. As AI gets more powerful, more sophisticated, how do we keep up?
That's the million-dollar question. How do we develop the skills to tell real from fake when the fakes are getting so good?
Bound to be a challenge, that's for sure.
Absolutely, but by staying informed and questioning everything, we can at least give ourselves a fighting chance.
Stay vigilant out there, folks, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See ya!
Bye.